You've seen it, right? It feels like one day we all just woke up and matcha was, well, it was everywhere. I'm not just talking about cafes. It's in our lattes, our desserts, and yeah, even our bath bombs. So how did this bright green powder literally take over the world? That's the big question we're going to dig into. We're going to break down the secret mechanics of a massive food trend. How it all starts, why this one is so different, and what its global takeover really means for all of us. Because trust me, once you start looking, the story of matcha is pretty wild. I mean, come on. A blueberry matcha oat latte bath bomb? Seriously, when a flavor makes the jump from your morning cup all the way into your bathtub, you just know a trend has hit a whole new level of absurdity. And oh, it doesn't stop at the bathroom door. Nope. It's invading our dinner plates in some of the weirdest ways imaginable. Matcha butter on a steak, matcha pesto pasta. The list of these bizarre combos, it just keeps on growing. And this is like the final boss of trend culture. You take the matcha trend, you smash it together with that viral Dubai chocolate thing, and then you bake it all into a crumble cookie. It's like a Russian nesting doll of trends, and it just proves how completely inescapable matcha has become. So how does this even happen? Is it all just random, or is there some kind of pattern to the madness? Well, it turns out there's actually a fascinating playbook for understanding how an ingredient goes from being this niche cultural thing to a global behemoth. You can basically split food trends into two main camps. First, you've got your foreign flavor. Think of things like quinoa or acai. These are ingredients with really deep cultural roots somewhere else that get popular here, usually because of some health craze. Then you've got the capitalist crunch. This is your pumpkin spice latte, your crumble cookie. It's a flavor or a product that's been heavily marketed and designed to get you hooked. What makes matcha so special is that it's a powerful, powerful mix of both. So on one side, you have these authentic, culturally rooted ingredients. And on the other, you've got these carefully crafted, market-driven products. And while a fad like that Dubai chocolate is pretty much all capitalist crunch, matcha gets its real staying power because it has a foot planted firmly in both of these worlds. And get this whole process is not an accident. Not at all. The food industry is watching every step of the way, and they have a playbook for how to cash in on the journey of an ingredient like matcha. They even have a name for it. It's called the menu adoption cycle. Just think of it like the 4 stages of a trend's life. It all starts at inception, where it's this exclusive thing you can only find in fancy restaurants. Then it moves to adoption, when it gets picked up by those cool, trendy food trucks and independent cafes. After that, we get proliferation. This is when the big guys, like Starbucks, see the buzz and roll it out everywhere. And finally, ubiquity. It's in every grocery store, in every form you can think of, like, a bath bomb. And you know what's wild? The industry itself totally admits what's happening at the end of this cycle. This quote, it's from a marketing firm whose entire job is to help companies jump on these trends. They straight up say that by the time a food is everywhere, its authenticity has been, watered down on purpose just to appeal to as many people as possible. But okay, here's the twist in the story. Even though matcha fits perfectly into that industry playbook, there's a lot of evidence that it's not just another passing fad. It has some really unique things going for it that give it real, actual staying power. So, is matcha just a green version of that viral pistachio chocolate bar that we're all gonna forget about by next year? Well, the answer is probably no. And the reasons why, that's what makes this whole story so interesting. Matcha's ability to stick around really comes down to 3 key things. First, unlike some made-up trend, it has centuries of deep, rich cultural history in Japan. That gives it an authentic foundation. Second, it's become this powerful social signifier, a way to signal your identity in today's culture. And third, just on a practical level, it's a real alternative to our morning cup of coffee. Let's break those down a bit. And this right here really gets at that social signifier idea. The whole matcha girl archetype that's popped up online, it represents a certain vibe. Wellness, Pilates, a kind of soft lifestyle. So drinking matcha becomes a statement. It says, I'm a little more sophisticated than you. I know about this cool thing from Japan. I'm not just drinking boring old coffee. You are what you buy, and maybe even more, you are what you post online. But all this popularity, it doesn't come for free. The global explosion in demand for matcha has created a whole bunch of new problems. Everything from the quality of the product to cultural appropriation. Turns out, there's a real cost to being this cool. So let's talk about that dilution we mentioned, right? Traditional matcha isn't sweet at all. It's loved for this earthy umami flavor. But to get the masses to drink it, big chains just load it up with sugar. A grande matcha latte from Starbucks has 29 grams of sugar. Suddenly that whole wellness halo gets pretty shaky when you realize you're basically drinking a dessert, a far, far cry from its healthy origins. On top of that, the insane demand is creating a massive supply crisis. As this coffee shop owner, Joe Lee, points out, matcha is really sensitive to the climate, and it's only harvested once a year. The huge spike in demand means traditional farmers just can't keep up. So what happens? Prices skyrocket. Not just for us, but for the small, independent cafes that helped make it popular in the first place. And then there's the cultural cost. As matcha gets bigger and more disconnected from where it came from, you see things like this. A brand called Uba Cha got a ton of backlash online because it was taking ube, a Filipino ingredient, and marketing it using the very specific, very culturally important language of Japanese matcha. They were calling it ceremonial grade, which means absolutely nothing for ube. It's a textbook case of stripping away cultural context just to make a buck. So, where does all of this leave us? Matcha has survived the crazy trend cycle, and now it's entering this completely new phase. It's not just the trend anymore, it's becoming something bigger. Yeah, matcha has hit the final stage. It's becoming a platform. Think about it. Coffee isn't just a drink, right? It's the base for frappuccinos, pumpkin spice lattes, a million other things. Well, that's what's happening to matcha. It's becoming the foundation that new trends are going to be built on. It's the new canvas for whatever flavor comes next. And that kind of leaves us with one final thought. Matcha's journey from a ceremonial tea to a global flavor platform, it's been pretty remarkable. So now that we understand the playbook, the question is, what's next? What's the next culturally important ingredient that's about to get swept up in the global trend machine?